It's Ben McMahon.
Howdy, partners.
Guys, we almost had two historic bleep ups today. That would have been infamy that would have been attached to this one. Steph Curry, as great as that game was, the Warriors and Kings. Steph Curry with as big of a bonehead play as he's probably made in his life.
Chris Webber did.
Calls timeout and it leads to a 4-point possession in, what was it, a 5-point game at that time? A timeout they didn't have, I should say.
It was a 5-point game.
Calls a timeout they don't have. Wow. Anyway, and then tonight, if you didn't stay up, and I don't blame you, with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in this game tonight in Minnesota, the Nuggets were done. It was game 5 was already scheduled. Everybody was probably making travel reservations in the traveling party. It's a 12-point game, home team ahead, celebrating in Minnesota. They're going to at least get a playoff win in front of their fans. And then over about 2 minutes and 15 seconds of game time, the Nuggets go on a 12-0 run.
And it was only a 12-0 run because Nikola Jokic missed 1 or 2 free throws after a horrendous foul by Karl Towns. It should have ended their season.
That's right. He missed 2 free throws. What was there, 5 seconds left?
Well, he went 1 for 2.
I'm sorry,
down
sorry,
one.
Missed
They're
one.
Down 1 and he got fouled. And they went 1 for 2.
Right. He could have ended it there. And then the Wolves were up 7 in overtime and almost blew that. But then finally, Ant Edwards hit a clutch 3 that won the game. And I'm not saying that those will be on par, but if after this Wolves season, which is going to end shortly one way or the other, they would have gone out by giving up a 13-0 run in the last 2 minutes at home. The crowd, I've never heard a playoff crowd so quiet. The building might as well have been empty because the only thing you could hear was the wolf howling low sound drop that they were playing. The whole building was dead silent, and you just heard, ooh, ooh.
The building might as well have been as empty as Karl Anthony Towns' stat line. Listen, man, I'll say this. Obviously, massive bonehead situation with Steph Curry. And then honestly, the last shot that he put up with 12 seconds left and plenty of time.
That's right.
Terrible.
She went way too early.
I mean,
they were up by a point, and he took a 2-pointer with 12 seconds left. It doesn't help him if he makes it.
It was strange. Really. And he, after the game, he basically admitted, wow, that timeout was dumb, but said he was fine with the shot, which I'm like, that was dumb too. Bizarre to see a guy with, that experience and that pedigree, that resume, have such a horrific last 40-something seconds. Kind of sadly ironic that the Warriors were actually saved by Harrison Barnes.
That's
missing not a wide open 3, but a decent look. They've definitely forced the ball out of De'Aaron Fox's hands wisely with the game on the line. And Barnes missed an open look. And then I saw after the game said basically, I can bounce back from this after I kind of put myself together after 2016, which is, geez, there's a lot.
That was a pretty fascinating interview he gave where he was like, this is bad, but nothing like 2016. I don't remember what the stat line was, but he basically didn't make a shot for the last 3
games. He was
didn't make a shot
from 3-point range during the finals. And then, they were recruiting KD the whole time and they basically dumped him. He went to the Mavericks, but not before playing in the Olympics for Team USA as the 12th man, where they have Draymond and Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant and Coach K was coaching him, which he's a Carolina guy. There was a lot there. Anyways, Steph's got infamy is a bit strong with Steph just because, you know what? It would have been one blip in a ridiculous.
Well, no. This could have potentially ended their whole deal. This could have, it could have been put the epitaph on the whole thing. That's why it had a chance to be such a crazy thing. It would have gone down 3-1 going to Sacramento. Could have been over on Tuesday.
Okay, that's fair. The Wolves,
Wednesday, whatever that game is.
The Wolves managed to be a punchline even when they fart out a playoff win. I mean, are you kidding me, dude? Karl Anthony Towns, the greatest, what we call him, Spigsmo, self-proclaimed greatest shooting big man of all time. Well, boys, in the playoffs, it changes. He's the greatest shrinking big man of all time in the playoffs. And why were they able to put this one away? Because Karl Anthony Towns fouled out in overtime. I mean, come on.
He was 0 of 2 on threes tonight.
Dude, he took 9 shots in the game. Aaron Gordon, the Aaron Gordon's been eating his lunch. And I can't leave, obviously the Gobert deal's been just a total disaster. And Bontemps, you texted in the group chat, how fitting, because it was end of regulation where it looked like the Nuggets were about to pull this thing off when Gordon swatted
well, he stoned Rudy at the rim, and then Karl committed this foul at the other end. It was like their whole season was going to go away with those two guys making plays.
How fitting would it be if the Wolves season ended basically with Gobert getting stoned at the rim by Gordon? And you talk about a great trade for Gordon where they gave up a pick, and a god-awful trade for Gobert where they gave up essentially 5 first-rounders and some role players. Oh, boy.
Well, they gave away R.J. Hampton, who's
and the same guy
he's gone.
The same guy made both trades.
Wild.
Wow.
Although I'll say this.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Tim Connolly.
Well, I'm not, I don't want to say too much. Let's go on.
How about poor Kyle Anderson getting knocked out again by a teammate? This time inadvertently, got blasted in the face
in
a friendly fire thing by Ant Edwards. Just that was
Ant stepped up and made some big shots, though. We got to say that
he did.
And
it was
look,
accidental. He hit him
when they
face,
blow this thing up. They're going to try to rebuild around him.
Blow it up. They don't blow it up. You don't have any picks.
Well,
anyway, Jokic had 43.
They need to blow it up and get some picks.
Jokic had 43 on 26 shots. Okay. But
Jokic managed to do all that, was a minus 14, which is hard to do.
What's crazy thing in this series is that the Nuggets have been very impressive, I don't know about impressive. They've been very successful with Jokic off the floor, which famously all year long, they were the best team net rating wise with him on and the worst team with him off. So that hasn't followed through in this series, which will now go to Game 5 in Denver. But I do want to focus on the game in San Francisco. I mean, what a high level game. Talk about haymakers flying back and forth. I felt bad for you, Bontemps, because you were having to work.
Me too. Feel bad for me. I had to go to Grizzlies practice and listen to Dylan Brooks blame the media for people thinking that he talks a lot.
All right, we're going to get to you. Relax.
I just want some damn sympathy. Get your violins out for me. I was listening to the villain/victim.
I don't need any sympathy. I had a great day hanging out at the Garden today with the laugh track. It was a good day.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
What about Jackson? You didn't like hanging out with him?
Well, I got to hang out with Jackson before and after the game, but during the game, I was hanging out with the track.
Back to San Francisco. Winnie, take the wheel. Why do you let things get out of control?
I was answering your question.
Yeah. All right. Settle down. It's after midnight. Okay. So this was just absolute haymaker time. And I have to say, Draymond Green, very confounding player. We've known for a decade.
By the way, Draymond's got his own podcast out tonight where he talked about his benching.